Time to play some games with Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams. Game Night, directed by John Francis Daley, Jonathan Goldstein, and written by Mark Perez. This movie stars Jason Bateman, Rachel McAdams, Jesse Plemons, Kyle Chandler, Billy Magnuson, Sharon Hogan, and some other actors. This movie is about two people, Max and Annie, played by Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams. They are obsessed with playing party games, whether it's board games or games like Pictionary and charades. They like playing these games and they like having their friends play these games with them. One is their friend played by Billy Magnuson, who likes to bring a date to the game night, and it's a different date every time. There's this black couple that they're friends with that they have with them on the game night as well. And there's this creepy neighbor that's a policeman, played by Jesse Plemons, who wants to get in on the game night, but they don't let him in on the game night because he's way too creepy, and because he's still very broken up about the fact that he is divorced. So they leave him out of the game night all the time. Now what happens is Max's brother, played by Kyle Chandler, decides he wants in on the game night, but he has something entirely new that he wants these guys to play. He wants them to play a murder mystery night. The challenge is somebody is going to try to kidnap me and murder me. It's going to look real, but it's all fake, and you have to find out who it is, try to rescue me, and if you do, you get my car. So they're in. It sounds like a cool game. But what happens for real is he really does get kidnapped by real kidnappers, not fake ones. And now they got to rescue him. When the kidnappers come in to kidnap Kyle Chandler's character, they think it's all an act. And it's not until later on do they realize that it was real, and now they got to find a way to rescue Kyle Chandler's character. And that's pretty much the movie. Hilarious antics ensue. Now, I like Jason Bateman a lot. He has been doing some very good movies, like Bad Words, and that movie he did with Joel Edgerton, I believe it was called The Gift. And he's great in the Netflix series Ozarks. So hearing about this movie, I was curious about it, but I know that not everything he does is a hit. Horrible Bosses 2 was a terrible movie. And unfortunately, I know there are people out there that like this movie, but I didn't totally like this film. There were things I didn't like about it, even though there were some things I did like about the movie. Let's talk about this film. Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams do work very well together. They have great chemistry. Jesse Plemons did a great job stealing the show with his creepy neighbor routine. It was really good. And he's not as good as he was in that episode from Black Mirror, but he's really good in this. Billy Magnuson, he's really not that good of an actor, so he really wasn't all that great in this film. I remember he was in that movie about Bruce Lee, Birth of the Dragon, which was a terrible movie, and he's really not all that much better here. The woman he's on a date with in this main portion of the movie, played by Sharon Hogan, she was alright in the film. I did like her in the movie. But the black couple was annoying. They are going through the majority of the movie arguing, and the main thing about the argument was so stupid. I wanted them to drop the argument and focus on the main plot of the movie, which is rescuing Kyle Chandler, and it just didn't work for me, really. Not all the jokes hit to me. The jokes that did hit were very funny, but the jokes that didn't hit were taken away from my enjoyment of the movie. The climax is very predictable. I was able to predict some parts of the climax before they happened. Like, I was able to predict somebody appearing, saving the day before that person ever showed up. Really, this wasn't that good of a film for me. I can understand other people liking it, but really, I didn't like it all that much. And it was just very hard for me to get into this movie, even though I did like some of the characters in the film. The other problem is our main protagonist cast. Even though Rachel McAdams and Jason Bateman have great chemistry and Jesse Plemons is very good in the movie, the whole cast, Jason Bateman, Rachel McAdams with the black couple, and Billy Magnuson with Sharon Hogan, these characters together don't have good chemistry outside of Rachel McAdams and Jason Bateman. 4 actors didn't really click very well. And if all the main characters don't click and work together as a team, then to me it just falls apart. And that was one of the problems with this movie. I almost feel like maybe one of these actors should have been more of a straight man. Jason Bateman was trying to be both a straight man and a comedian, and Rachel McAdams was trying to be both as well, I think, which works great. And Jesse Plemons was good, but there wasn't enough straight man to counter the comedy, really. And that's what you need in order for good comedy to work. Like when you have Abbott and Costello. Abbott is the straight man and Costello is the comedian. That's how they work so well together. And that's one of the problems with this movie. There wasn't enough of that straight man part to counter the comedy. So overall, this really wasn't that good of a movie to me. But because people do like this movie, I'm going to give this movie a B. I mean, I do think that this is not that good of a movie, but there are people out there that do like this movie, and there were parts of the movie that I did like, so it's not that bad of a film. It's just a film that doesn't really appeal to me. And that's all I got to say for Game Night.